So I wanted to talk to you today about the power of giving a gift. A gift can be a very useful thing. It can be a very touching thing. Men and women give gifts all the time to each other. You know, birthdays, wedding anniversaries, Christmas, obviously. Valentine's Day, you know. Gifts are happening all the time, but the reasons why we give gifts is different depending on what gender you are. Men give gifts for very specific reasons. They will try and find out, you know, what is her heart's desire, what does she really want, what will make the biggest impact. And I know this is a generalization, but I think on the whole what a man is looking for is the reaction when the gift is given. You know, like, here, I have gone out and I have trawled the countryside and fought off demons and dragons, and I have procured for you this golden fleece. Look upon it. And, you know, they're expecting that sort of like, oh, thank you so much. You know, that's the moment they're looking for. That's the moment we're looking for generally. I mean, you know, I've been guilty of it. Women, on the other hand, don't think like that. They will look at what a guy wants, you know, and say, well, that's what he wants, but this is what he needs. And they will give a gift based on that. And that gift will stay with you far longer than just the moment of giving, you know. I'll give you an example. An ex-girlfriend of mine quite a few years ago, she was planning my birthday, and just 2 or 3 days before my birthday, she said, right, Rick, I've got your birthday present. It's a choice of 2 things. You need to decide what it is that you want. So I'm going to tell you in advance so that you can make that choice, so I can organise it. Well, I was over the moon. I was really excited. Is it going to be, something for my music studio or for the car, or who knows, you know, boys' toys. So she said, yeah, so here's the choice. It's either Feng Shui for the flat, for your apartment, or colonic irrigation. Well, I was quite taken aback by this choice, as you can imagine. You know, did I really want to lie on a table with a stranger in a room watching my feces float by my eyes in a plastic tube? Wasn't really keen on that. And so I plumped for the Feng Shui. You know, I thought that was the sensible choice. So I said to her, yeah, Feng Shui for me. You know, spiritually, I think that's a really good thing. Yes, I'll go with that and explore that. Thank you. That's great. So, you know, went out to dinner, had a lovely time, that kind of thing. And I forgot about it and cracked on with my life for the next sort of week and a half or so. And I remember, you know, there was a knock at the door, and I opened the door, and there stood this man. How do I describe him? He looked like a cross between Catweasel and a tree surgeon. Extraordinary. It was a beautiful sunny day, I remember, and he was stood there in, you know, these sort of greenish sort of shorts, a lumberjack sort of shirt and a rucksack, and he had sort of very scruffy sort of ginger hair and a very unkempt sort of goatee. Lovely smile, and hobnail boots and socks. And I thought, wow, he's come far. And he said, "All right, Rick, my name's Adrian. I've come down from Watford." Oh, well, yeah. How does he know my name? What's he doing here? Why has he come down from Watford? And he said, I'm here for the Feng Shui. And I said, of course you are. Of course you are. Yeah, come in. So anyway, he comes up and then, you know, he puts his rucksack on the table. And he says, right, first of all, I'm going to have a good look around the flat and just check out where, you know, where the negative energy is, and we'll see what's what. I said, yeah, you know, knock yourself out. So I proceeded to make a cup of tea, and he proceeded to look around the flat and sort of check out the energy. After about sort of like 20 minutes or so, he said, right, so I've identified some real problem areas. And I was quite interested to see where these problem areas were. And he said, right, the lounge is number 1, priority number 1. You've got a big telegraph pole out the front of the lounge window, and that is creating a lot of negative energy, all right? Because, you know, there's good energy that's coming towards the window, but then the telegraph pole splits it and creates negative energy, bad energy. So I'm going to put some crystals up around the place to alleviate that. Oh, okay. So these crystals start going up. I'm drinking my tea, sort of thinking, what's going on? By the time he'd finished, I kid you not, my apartment looked like a 1970s disco just after Saturday Night Fever had been released. Honestly, it was like living in a mirror ball, you know. So, you know, I thought, well, you know, that's feng shui for you. And then he's in the kitchen, the last room he's trying to move the washing machine. It's a tiny little kitchen, there's nowhere to move it. I said, Adrian, that's not going to move anywhere. There's nowhere to put it apart from where it is. He said, yeah, well, you know, I mean, this is creating a bit of a problem. I said, well, we're going to have to live with that. We can't move it. He said, well, you know, I'd rather we did, but, you know, needs must, we'll just have to leave it. I said, yeah, fine. So he was packing up all his crystals and left the ones sort of by the window, and he sort of said to me, you're not entirely convinced, are you, Rick? And I said, well, I'll be honest, no. I'm a bit sceptical. And he said, well, I'll tell you what. He said, I'll tell you what. If nothing has changed in your life in the next 2 weeks, right, I'll give you your money back, right? 120 quid, I'll give it straight back to you. And I said, well, it's very generous of you, Adrian. But, you know, I'll give it a go. He said, no, straight up. If nothing's changed in 2 weeks, I will give you your money back. But I'll guarantee you, something will have changed. And I said, okay, I'll take your word for it. And that was that. He left. I sort of, you know, closed the door, chuckled to myself, and just cracked on with my life, really. And it was about coming up for 2 weeks after that, after Adrian had been, that me and my ex-girlfriend had this almighty, massive row. And it culminated with her leaving the apartment and moving out of the apartment. I'll admit, at my request. You know, it did get quite ugly. And, you know, but once the police had left, I sort of, you know, took a deep breath. And I actually remember walking around the flat in the dark, reclaiming every room, just like walking in and taking a deep breath and just enjoying the freedom, drinking it in. And I've got to admit that after that day, my life had changed completely. I was a happier person. All my mates sort of said, oh, Rick, you're back to your old self. My career kind of like took a turn for the better. Things started happening. And I was just generally in a better place. So a gift can be a very, very powerful thing. Okay, so, you know, I haven't tried Feng Shui since. And I'm not really sure why. But the one time I did try it, you know, worked for me. So there's the power of a gift for you. And that is absolutely a true story.